All right, we're joined by Texas Tech kicker Gino Garcia. Gino, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Where are you at? I think this is probably the main question I want to ask you mentally going into fall camp.
I think I'm the best. I'm at the best spot I've been at since I've been here. I feel better than what I was feeling during the season, which is really good. I feel like that's a good feeling.
You had a good season last year. There was the opening start, which for the whole team at Wyoming was just chaos. It seemed like chaos, including for special teams.
Yeah.
But then how were you able to bounce back and have that solid season you did last year?
I mean, I would just give glory to my God, the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, just because it was hard to get out of. I mean, I can't tell you it was easy. It takes a lot of talking to my parents, a lot of talking to my sports psychologist team, and I don't know how I did it, honestly. I mean, it was something that I look back at right now. I'm like, wow, that was a tough place to be at.
And you mentioned the sports psychologist. Could you give him a shout out? Who's the Texas Tech sports psychologist that you?
I mean, with Sarah right now, she's a GA right now for us. I mean, she's great. I mean, she could go work with any program right now. But she's I meet with her every week, and so she's been great. She brings in a different perspective of how to think about it and how to like bring up a different routine that works for me.
That's interesting to me because it would appear, I know it was never a kicker, even in my Uncle Rico days, but it would appear that so much of kicking is mental.
Oh, yeah.
And just kind of, how do you prepare mentally, like you mentioned bouncing back, but for like a kick, for a game, all of that? Just kind of break that down.
The biggest thing is practicing like all these different situations in the off season. So, I mean, putting yourself in a situation that you're in the stadium in the off season and putting your headphones on, stadium noise, seeing yourself miss sometimes is also a thing that, like, I mean, just allows yourself to kind of bring yourself back into the moment because we're not perfect. I mean, no one's perfect, and mess ups are going to happen here and there. So, what else? And also meeting with the sports psych every week. I mean, just kind of like telling her how you feel, and she kind of lets you kind of let your feelings know to her.
It's kind of like that next play mentality, right? That Coach McGuire is always talking about. And then, what is Coach? Speaking of coaches, Kenny Perry, what's he like as a special teams coach and just coach in general?
He's a great coach. I mean, he's the coach that you kind of what's the word? How would I say it? He's gonna put you in situations that are super hard during camp. Like he's gonna try to get in your head. He's gonna try to say stuff that that you don't like. I mean, but at the end of the day, he's gonna prepare you for the game, which is the best coach you want to have. Just because you come to the game and it's pretty simple after that.
You prefer kicking at home where it's quiet or kicking on the road where there's a bunch of noise?
I mean, it's at the end of the day, I try to think about it like anywhere you go, it's just kick. I mean, it's just a ball in the leg. You try to kick the same place, same spot. It's definitely easier kicking at home just because you have people cheering on for you instead of just people booing you. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of silence that out once you've gotten going. That's what happened to me. I feel like after the Wyoming game, it's just like anywhere we play, we just kind of the same thing.
How much does wind play? Like how do you gauge that and all that? And you go into, do you just kick a kick? This is where I'm going, or being out here in West Texas, how much does that play a factor in the direction of your kicking?
Oh, I mean, so much.
Yeah.
I mean, just because most of the spring is so windy.
Yeah, it is.
And so it's actually good for us just because we're able to practice the whole spring with it, and then when it comes to the season, then we're more prepared than other kickers are. I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's still super hard. I mean, it's something that you have to gauge and be like, it's kind of like reading a putt. You don't know if it's gonna break, how much it's gonna break. So you kind of gauge off of it and see based on how you're hitting the ball right now and where your apex is at, when it's gonna start moving, and how strong your ball has to be, what type of ball you're gonna hit. So I mean, it takes a lot of different things but that's kind of my thinking box. So whenever I'm in my thinking box, that's whenever I choose my line. That's whenever I choose how I'm going to hit the ball, if I'm going to hit it a little lower, if I'm going to hit a little toe rear. So it's just a bunch of things like that.
Gino, give Raiderland an idea of your background, your hobbies, what are you into, where you're from, your family, just all that kind of stuff.
So I'm Mexican. I was born and raised in Dallas. Both of my parents are immigrants. They both came from Mexico. So my first language is Spanish. I grew up speaking Spanish. I'm still speaking Spanish. I grew up playing soccer. My dad was a big soccer guy. My brother's big. He played college soccer at West Texas A&M.
Wow.
And I wanted to play college soccer. I wanted to go play at SMU. That was my dream school to play soccer at. So I was really good at soccer. I went to go for a pro tryout in Mexico, and that didn't work out in high school. And then after that, I decided to kick in high school. I wasn't trying to play college football. I really wasn't. It was just for fun. I was like, I'll play with some friends. And at the end of the day, my coach kind of came up to me and was like, hey, some college coaches are asking about you. What do you think? And I was like, sure. I was like, I won't turn it down. And then I went to Houston Baptist for 3 years, and then I'm finishing out my final year here at Texas Tech.
What's the difference between kicking it, or is there a difference at Houston Baptist and Texas Tech?
And the pressure, definitely the pressure. I mean, over there, competition's not as high. We got the best of the best specialists here. And, I mean, kicking in front of 50,000, 60,000 people every game. And then over there, I'm kicking in front of less than 5,000 people a game. So, I mean, it means it's a lot of different things that are coming to factor.
All right, Gino Garcia, Texas Tech kicker. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.